Wes Anderson's coming-of-age comedy Moonrise Kingdom is touted as one of his stronger entries in his filmography, and this is because of the film's overwhelming yet relatable themes of conformity, love, and nostalgia. The story is set in the summer of 1965 in the remote location of New Penzance, and is portrayed as a moment in time, perhaps that of someone who would cherish something as trivial as one's first love. No moment in the film conveys the power of love at first sight more than when our two star-crossed lovers, Sam and Susie, reunite after their first encounter. The sequence opens with a familiar visual cue, the outline of Susie's binoculars, seeing Sam walking at the other end until he stops and sees her. The scene then cuts to a wide shot of Susie on the left side of the frame, drawing down her binoculars and standing in a yellow-hued field, making the visual feel and look warm. Then Sam literally steps into the picture by joining the shot on the right side of the open frame, with only the windmill in the distance separating the two visually and marking the crossing point in not only their lives, but their story as a whole. We then cut to a full shot of Susie's Belongings, which pans up to Susie herself, still on the left side of the screen. Then cutting again to Sam, who is in the exact same alignment to Susie, except at the right side of the screen. This creates a neat visual because if you were to composite both the shots, the frame would easily be able to fit both of them in it, but because that's not the case, it leaves the audience feeling that the two characters' shots are both empty and missing each other. This is even more supported by the fact that we cut to a close-up of both their faces. Now we, as the audience, are trying to piece their connection. How do these two characters know each other? The film then jumps into a flashback sequence of a church play of Noah's Ark, which happened a year earlier before their re-encounter. The scene shows actors, a choir, and churchgoers all doing what they're supposed to do. The actors act, the choir sings and plays instruments, and the churchgoers observe. That is, until we cut to a shot of a head scout and his group, who then twitches his head to the right side of the screen as the camera pans to Sam, obviously not wanting to partake in the event. This scene alone speaks to the overall theme of the story, the rejection of social conformity. It's further supported by the fact that when he leaves his seat, the camera and the people around him track him leaving. It's also shot handheld instead of a Steadicam, as if we're personally following him. This notion of disconformity is continued as he leaves the building, with actors blankly staring at him in their costumes of various animals. Sam enters the new building, still being shot handheld, looking through various rooms. This is until he stumbles to a changing room, where actresses are getting ready. It then cuts to Sam in a medium close-up shot, asking them what kind of bird they are.
What kind of bird are you?
I'm a sparrow. She's a dove.
No, I said, what kind of bird are you?
We then cut back to Susie in a close-up shot, meaning a connection has been established between them. She answers that her costume is that of a raven. But the shot is then cut to a medium close-up shot as the actress in the sparrow costume interjects that Sam shouldn't be allowed in the area. Not only does this break the audience focus on Susie from just a few seconds ago, but it also breaks Sam's as well as we cut to him. He then turns his head back and now the focus is back on Susie.
What happened to your hand?
We then cut back to Susie in the same close-up shot now that the focus is back on her.
What's your name?
Sam, what's yours?
I'm Susie.
As their interaction has ended, we cut to a wider shot showing Sam standing in front of the flock.
Go back to your seat.
And we cut back to the play where we see Susie at the top of the ark, with the musical score in the background drowning out most of the noise. We then get a quick sequence of the actors in bird costumes handing a note to the scout leader. We then cut back to present day, the same wide shot of the two from earlier. This shot is held as the play's score fades away, signifying the flashback's ending. We cut to the same medium shots of both Sam and Susie breaking the ice, and as they do, we cut to a long tracking shot of Sam as he makes his way to the left side of the screen, and the same shot is done for Susie as she walks to the right side of the screen. The last cut of the segment is when they both meet in the middle of the screen, with the windmill in the background. They deliberate on what to do and where to go, and as they exit the frame and cut to a very wide shot of the two walking away in the middle of the field, the tunes of Alexandre Desplat's score ring into the following sequence.